here on the KCIW radio station with quality living with peaceful support here in Brookings, Oregon, right at the southern coast of Oregon. We're so thankful for all of our listeners and our sponsors and our volunteers and the donations and all the magical parts and pieces that have come together to make this radio station. Even the coolest new update that I just got to experience was the Bluetooth activity for our call-in guests. This is like really going to bring us to a whole new level of bringing in more different, diverse, unique guests here to the Quality Living with Peaceful Support show inside the KCIW radio station of Curry County. We're super grateful. And anyone who's out there and is ready to participate, I've actually, listeners, guess what? I've got a couple of people who are ready to have their own brand new radio show on KCIW with us. And if you want your own radio show, you give me a call, 541-661-4098. If you want to talk about something, you've got a question, you've got an answer. We love answers. Anything at all that comes to mind, you just go ahead and give the station a call. And it's interactive, you know. Communication and conversation usually is with multiple people. So the more call-in guests we have calling, the better it feels here when we talk into our microphones. So that number again, 541-661-4098. And I'm Amanda Whittemore. I'm one of your newest realtors here in Brookings, Oregon. And it is just such a treat. I actually have my license activated and I'm able to operate anywhere in the state of Oregon, and actually globally we can do referrals. So everybody out there in Thailand and Costa Rica, get ready. Oregon's coming your way. And so back to the topic here on the Quality Living with Peaceful Support program. We take just a couple of minutes to bring a little bit of peace and a little bit of quality to some subjects that may or may not get so much attention. What we do have is our super special friend. She is a known advocate here in this area. She's a special lady. She's done end of life. She's an end of life doula. And she also has been working in the holistic world and very, very artistic and creative with tons of different mediums. And my best friend, Miss Charlie, I call her Charlie. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be with everybody here. Hi.
Yeah.
So we're showing some bookings. I'm sweating in Arizona.
It's like a little bit trickling of this, sky here today. It's a little bit wet and chilly. My toes are cold.
Gotta crochet you some of those slippers.
Right. So Charlie actually crocheted me an entire, what is it? A coat? Like it's
a fairy jacket.
A fairy jacket. It is insanely beautiful. It goes all the way to the floor. It ties up in the front. It has a little corset action in the back that's glow in the dark and bell sleeves. Yeah. And with a hood.
Yeah, there you go. And then the next one we'll make a dress. That'll be fun.
Yeah, she's literally already got, if anybody who's into knitting, crocheting, arts, creative activity, this woman is devoted and on fire. She literally has made over probably 1,000 different flowers, shapes and colors, bumblebees, ladybugs, all the things that it's just stunning the amount her fingers can do.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been crocheting and doing that kind of thing for a very long time. So I like it. It keeps me busy, keeps me out of trouble.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's so technical. And then I've watched you rip things apart after you made it, and then you just undo it. You just pull the string and it just comes undone.
I know. That freaks people out a little bit.
Yeah. It's like you just
gotta be perfect.
Yeah. Well, and that's the true, that's a true artist. It's like, well, that's okay for most people, but not the way I do things, and it's really a lot of commitment, and I really appreciate that about you. like, in a lot of different activities that we've done together, especially end of life.
Yeah, we've done that. Absolutely. Good quality care for people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
a unique
And then I remember bringing the vegan food to Leonard.
right?
Yep. Got to bring the good food to the people.
Yeah.
So,
The vitality
yeah.
that's in it. And so with your lifestyle, tell the listeners a little bit about you and like your vegan your lifestyle.
Well, I've pretty much been a vegan all my life. My parents used to, try to force me to eat meat because they used to tell us that it was important. But then you realize that when you do love the animals and you care for the animals, that, it's really not such a good idea. When I got a little older, then I realized that it was a lot better to eat whole foods and healthier foods and instead of the drive-through at McDonald's. um, so
Right.
uh, yeah, so you learn, and then also the thing that does happen is then your health gets better, and then when you go to the doctor and they check your vitals and all of your blood and everything, then everything's a lot better. And it's all just based on food that I eat. So I definitely am very grateful for leading that kind of a lifestyle. And also you and I have done yoga together and exercise. I've always been very active in that type of thing. So and I believe that's very good for all, so that we can not be all crumbled up in our rocking chair.
Right. Yeah. Even if you're a fan of crocheting, like you got to get up and stretch the bones.
Oh yeah. You just can't sit in the rocking chair and crochet all day long. You definitely have to get up and run around the block a few times.
Absolutely. And so even as a kid, when you would choose to eat, different options, how did your parents respond?
Well, they didn't really force me too bad, but I still had to take that one or two bites to satisfy the
Uh,
parents, even though I didn't like it, and it used to just make me feel very uncomfortable.
mm-hmm. And then now with all your experience, like you showed me, so I mean, I knew about vegan and I knew, I worked at the Natural Food Co-op in Grass Valley at the Briar Patch. And I, was a herbalist and very conscious and mostly ate vegan, but there just was some things that I just didn't even know about that you really showed me like all the cool parts of the vegan world.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I have some books coming in. One is Miyoko Schinner is a woman that makes these plant-based butters and cheeses, and she has a cookbook, and I have that coming hopefully in the next few days. So then I will learn how to make my own vegan cheese and ice cream. Of course, everybody needs that.
Yeah. Yeah, Miyoko is one of our favorite that you introduced me to. Like, if you have not tried Miyoko out there, listeners, they usually carry it. Where is it? Grocery outlet or
Oh,
anywhere?
grocery outlet, almost all. Well, yeah, they also have it at Fred Meyer's.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do know that. Um, but well, Freddy's. That's what we always called it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So
It's out of this world delicious.
it really is. It absolutely is. And she has some absolutely great cream cheese, which I've made cheesecake with it, and people that didn't realize that it was not cows, dairy, they didn't realize what it was. They just knew that it was really good. And then when I told them, they were shocked. And I said, well, see, you don't need to you know you know torture the animals just so you can have a cheesecake.
Yeah. Yeah, there's, just so many different studies and tests and like just actual frequencies of the vibration of, the way that we process our food and how distant and how far away we've gotten from like even the origin. You and I were talking about that.
Yeah, the factory farming, I mean, if people want to, eat meat, I can't really, judge them for that. But I mean, I always say, do you love animals? And they would say yes. And well, then why would you want to, you know, torture an animal just so, you can have a cheeseburger on your plate? And it doesn't make any sense, to, eat that negativity.
Right, right. Yeah, and it's some recent studies they've shown that even plants, like if you harvest a certain part of the garden, and they had these meters next to the plants, and they said that the other plants in the same row or something down the way put off a frequency as if a human was screaming.
I believe that. I totally believe that. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like,
I mean, we're all running on a vibration, so that makes sense, and that would happen. And if you have, negative people, pulling, your plants and taking care of it, that probably wouldn't be so good either.
no, yeah, we definitely learned that through the cannabis experience.
Yeah.
Farming a lot of cannabis, it made a huge difference on who was participating in the harvest,
Hmm.
on their energy and their level, as opposed to the batches. Even though it's the same plant, we were like, why is this batch so different?
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
frequencies.
Yeah. That is true. So.
And there's some vegan schools that tell me about those schools that you're talking about.
Oh, the is August Escoffier school. They're online. They are also in Denver, Colorado, and Austin, Texas. Those two places are on campus, and then the one is online. And it's a 15-month program, and you could become a certified chef with a degree, and then get a nice job. You know, handing out some good, lovable vegan food.
Right, vegan culinary school. That
Oh
is
yeah, well, and the pastries, that would definitely be a good thing for me. I tried to make my mother's cinnamon rolls back in the day when I did use dairy, but it didn't work either. It turned out like tack.
oh.
So then I tried it, the vegan way, and actually it turned out pretty good. So, that was probably a good indication that I should have just made it vegan from the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you're super healthy, and you're, really fit, and you're well and sound mind, and like you got all your, ducks in a row and all your wits about you. And a lot of people say for, if you go vegan for so many years, this and that and all these health conditions happen, but I don't know. I'm a fan of believing that each person's different.
Well, yes, I believe that they're different. I mean, somebody might believe that they need the animal protein to be strong, but that has been proven completely wrong. There are a lot of vegan athletes out there. Just heard about a 75-year-old man that is a cyclist, and he's been a vegan for quite a few years, and he still does his marathons. And he's 75. So I mean, and he feels like he's 30. So there's got to be, excuse my birds. They think they need the spotlight. Let me go in the other room.
Is that Chaz?
That's Chaz.
Hi,
Chaz. Or yeah, oh, Chaz. He's like, my girlfriend's on the phone. He's like, hi. And said, Stuart. Hi, Stuart. Yeah,
Hi,
Stuart.
Stuart.
Okay.
Cockatiels, right?
Vegan. They're vegan. They were letting you know they're vegan also.
And they have the best meals. Like when I went to Charlie's place and she showed me what she feeds her birds, I was like, that's what I eat.
Yes, absolutely. Got to make them some good old fresh food, and they get their little beaks all the way down in there. And yeah, they're like, yeah, we're vegan too.
Yeah, they have millet. I used to have millet for breakfast, and they have wheatgrass.
Oat groats. They're addicted to oat groats. We recently got some grass grown by autistics and special needs adults, and it's barley and wheat oats and alfalfa. Ooh, yeah, yeah,
Ooh, yeah,
good stuff there.
yeah, absolutely, Chaz. What else is going on, Chazers?
He seems to be talking. He seems to be talking more than I am. Oh, hi, Stuart. Yeah.
Cute.
So yeah, we're very grateful for being able to still be able to have good food to eat.
Yeah. I'm, a little bit nervous about the whole next generation. Like, if they have no idea how to grow food and they just
I
talk to
know.
their telephone and they say, Siri, grow me a tomato.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's another thing that I do is I have a little hydroponic, aero garden that I grow my own lettuce and I got jalapenos and bell peppers growing. And cherry tomatoes, of course. So that's always good to have around. And it doesn't take up much room. And that's all the kids need to learn is, you only need just a little tiny space to produce quite a bit of food.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a light, like you plug it in, it's a machine with tell me about it. Tell the listeners about it.
And it's totally computerized, and you can even hook it up to Wi-Fi, and I mean, the kids can relate to all of. I don't have it hooked up on Wi-Fi, but I have the other parts going.
Right?
I know the kids would love it because they would be able to have their phone tell them what to put the plant food in there and when it needs to be watered. It has a little pump. It's a hydroponic setup.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just think there's like nine plants or that you can put. You can get them bigger also,
Like
for a
little
little bit bigger
pods.
spaces. Yeah, little pods, you know, and I have actually got, quite a bit of food out of it. So
Yeah.
uh, and they have them on Amazon. They're about $100, I think,
Oh,
for as
that is
small as
so
yeah.
worth it, dude. Yours is the perfect size. It just sits right there, right? I mean, it's I had no idea that was that affordable.
Yeah, yeah. And really, and it's not that much to run it. And then you set the timer for it has different settings on it for different herb gardens or vegetable gardens, or you can even grow flowers in it. But
Ooh.
I definitely use it for the edible foods, and then also I know what has gone into that fruit, the vegetables. You can
Mhm.
also grow little fruit in there, which that's my next project I want to do is grow fruit.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. You got to send me a video.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you got to come and visit.
I know, I do. I really, really, really do.
Because I know you like the weather here. You know,
I love it warm. It's my favorite. Like, being from Las Vegas, Nevada, and being from Central America, and even like, near Nevada City, California, it's normally 100 degrees about 8 months, five to 6 months out of the year. And, I'm not sure how I'm surviving here. I'm thriving. I'm actually thriving in Brookings. Maybe the cold weather is what I needed to keep my act in gear. I don't know.
well, that's why you needed to keep me on hand so I can, crochet all those warm things for you.
That's true. Honestly, the hats. Am I wearing one right now? All the fun things. Yeah. Yeah. Listeners, we are talking to Charlie, one of my best friends, a dear end of life doula and a holistic health guide and a majorly phenomenal vegan chef. Like Charlie is. If you have any questions about veganism, call 541-661-4098. And Charlie and I are doing a bit of a couple of segments here on the KCIW show, and we've are introducing, even her birds are vegan. Like, some birds eat crickets or worms, or I don't know what they eat, but there's, those powder things that you feed the animals. But, her birds are true vegans. But so, yeah, we're having a couple of shows that we're doing all about veganism. And, yeah, thanks, Charlie, for being here with us. We have a couple more minutes, and I wanted to kind of like open up the story that you and I were talking about the other night about how, I mean, it might be, what's the word? Not taboo, but how do you call it? Controversial. Where we were talking, and I brought it up in church, a couple different churches, and we had extensive conversations about it in Bible study about the Hare Krishna and the origin, like the books that come 5,000-10,000 years before the Bible was introduced to Earth.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how about the introduction of the flesh of the animal, and about how normally the humans were intended to only eat the fruits of the garden, and that once they ate the flesh of the forbidden, that's when all the evil and all the weird corruption came through and all the weird stuff happened. And a lot of translations say that maybe possibly the English translation from whatchamacallit, that when they talk about the apple, it was a wrong translation, that it's actually the animal.
Right. I mean, Jesus didn't go, to the temple, about the money. He was, upset that they were killing and slaughtering the animals and then selling them back to the peasants, and it was just pure evil from the very beginning, to the killing, the torture of the animals, and God did not intend for us to be that way. We're supposed to be living, peace on earth, and the only way we're going to get peace is not to enslave, the animals. I mean, we don't want to enslave humans. So why would we want to enslave, the animals, just, because they taste good, that, there's so many things, so many vegan things that, you can make it taste like a cow if you need be, and there's no killing, hopefully it's all love that comes from the plants.
Right. Yeah. And it's like there's so many different books in other countries and different teachings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I talked forever with different pastors of different religions about what does this mean? Like, what is this about? Like, how do we even acknowledge, like, how do we relate, And I think, like you're saying, like, we finally broke through from enslaving humans on a broad base. We still probably do in a lot of different forms.
Yeah.
But not like it was, like I think the 80s was the last of it on the big scale. But I really do notice, and I really do see, like, on food menus in majority of the restaurants, like there's I used to have to ask what was vegan on the menus. Now there's a little V on literally every single restaurant I've ever been to recently, last 5-10 years. So I think, we're hitting a transition.
Yes, we are definitely, seeing the light that, that animal cruelty is not right, and murder, and not eating that negative that comes from from the whole process. It really is nice to eat the happy food.
It feels so good. It's just this upliftment, and it's like when I first started doing it, like, all of a sudden I had more energy. I was naturally happier for no darn good reason.
Yeah.
And it just felt good. it was the
Yeah.
craziest thing. My digestion started working. My skin cleared up. Like 1,000 different really good things happened.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That the feeling, that you get, when you eat, you're not eating, all that negative and, so
Or
it
the
just makes you
process.
feel better.
Yeah.
All the processed food, I mean, I mean, just because you're vegan doesn't mean that you're healthy. Because, if you still eat all of the vegan processed stuff,
Yes.
instead of cooking it yourself, of course, you're still going to have some problems. You definitely have to eat the fresh fruit and the fresh, vegetables and whole grains and, things like that. You definitely have to keep that incorporated in your menu.
Definitely. Yeah. And it
Yeah.
just is a lot. It just feels more peaceful. It feels more quality. And, I've had a lot of doctors and and these last two comments about, like the whole beginning of time of what we should and should not eat, says
Right.
God. It's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? And listeners, please do call in 541-661-4098. And there's a bunch of other things that Charlie and I are going to just open up the can of worms and see who starts pecking first.
Probably Chaz.
Right? Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to go fishing.
Yeah.
So those worms out and we just reel them right in. Well, Charlie, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank the listeners and all of our sponsors. And especially I want to thank Georgia Cockerham because she is just one of our sponsors that participates, not just donates, she participates. So I want to give a moment to thank her. And Charlie, we're going to hear more about the veganism with you on other segments. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. Thank you. It was great to talk to you.
Yeah, I'll talk
Have a
to you
good
soon.
night.
You too. Okay. Bye-bye.
Love you guys.
Love you. Yeah, love you, listeners. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.